Hello. Hi. So I just woke up. So I'm still kind of waking up and stretching. I've been a little bit under the weather. Sorry about that sound. And so I just wanted to come on here and finish up those readings because we only did Aries through Leo last time. So now I want to cover Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Oh my God. Um, yeah, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Pisces. If you already had your reading done, so if you were an Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, or yeah, Leo, then you can check out your other video. There's timestamps and you can check out which ones, what is Gemini season for you. I know Gemini season is almost over now and it's been a while. I've been kind of under the weather. So I haven't really gotten a chance to record in the way that I want to, and I'm behind on videos. So I apologize for those of you who are waiting for your video. The next one that's coming out is going to be the cusp of Taurus and Gemini and Aquarius compatibility, but I do have a lot more planned and a lot more that I'm working on. So these are just some quick announcements. This might not be as long of a video because, like I said, I'm just waking up and I don't know my stamina. Sometimes I wake up and I just feel so psychic. Like I feel like, oh my God, the universe has all these answers. But then as time goes on, I'm like, whew, whoa, I'm not in a place right now to read for this amount of time. So hopefully we'll see how long my third eye wants to stay tuned in and stay open. If you are born on the cusp, because I'm not going to cover the cusp signs unless you ask directly for it. So if you are on the cusp, and I haven't talked about your cusp sign for Gemini season yet, make sure that you let me know and I can do a specific reading for that cusp. So this is going to, since Gemini season is almost over, this is going to be more of a reading for people like for this month. It's less going to be about the specific time frame of Gemini season. I'm just going to channel that Gemini season energy. So I hope that makes sense. I'm really excited to get into this, and we're going to start with Virgo. This is not about questions or answering questions. So if you do have a specific question for me, we can do that another time, or you can book a reading with me, zoethepsychic.com. And I do have multiple options there for answering questions. But if you do pay or donate, I might be more, into answering your question depending on where we're at. But yeah, we're focusing on the zodiac sign. So I hope you enjoy this and I hope you stay tuned. So let's start with Virgo. Remember, I'll post the timestamps when I'm done with this so you can go back and watch it if you missed it. Okay. I'm going to do a similar format that I did in the first live. So let me move this down a little bit. All right. So Virgo, we have the creator. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to pull some more cards for this one to clarify. I feel like you guys really have the wheel. You're taking the center stage. You're taking the wheel, Virgo, this Gemini season. I feel like you are in this kind of in the front seat. You run the show, A lot of people might try to take control over your vision, over your life, but this is your time to shine. This is your time to create the world that you want to create the life that you want to create. Exactly. So I feel like this is not the time to play it safe for you. You're going to go against the grain. I feel like for those of you who are artists or the creative types, this is not the time where you're going to just stick to beige and basic neutral colors, right? You're going to paint the life that you want. I feel like you are kind of at the precipice of something new. You are in control of your own destiny. You're in control of the reins. Like it's not even that there's an option for someone else to take over. It's like, no, you have so much power in the situation. And I feel like if society wants you to follow the rules, you are going to resist that at all costs. You're going to feel this pull to defy society, to defy the rules. You're not going to want to be a part of that situation, right? I just feel like you are on the precipice of something new. This might be a time where you invent something or you kind of come up with things or how to do things in your own way. Remember, you don't have to follow everybody else this season. You know, you don't have to keep going and just playing by everyone else's game. Like, this is your game. You're the master of your game. Okay. I don't know who plays Dungeons and Dragons here. I don't. I would love to. I haven't gotten into that. But I do know there's a dungeon master, and everyone has to listen to the dungeon master. And I feel like that's who you are right now in your life. You are that person that is running the show, that's kind of guiding other people. You're the guiding force. And this is not about fitting in. I actually feel like your dreams are going to be really powerful. There's a lot of subconscious messages that can come through your dreams. So, dream journaling is going to be a really, really positive thing for you, really powerful. There's this feeling of kind of doing things against the grain, but that have never been done before. And I feel like a lot of people that are older than you or wiser, wiser, they think they're wiser, okay? They're going to try to mess with your vision. I feel like you're a perfectionist, as a lot of Virgos are. There's a sense of needing to make things happen and not wanting things to go awry. You have to enjoy the journey here. I think that's a big thing for Virgos that stops them from creating, from being the maker of their dreams, from like making them happen and turning the reality into a reality, like turning what they want into a reality, right? I do feel like this is the time for Virgo to shine and manifest things. But they just have so much power. They have so much power. There is also this need, this longing to connect with others. I feel like maybe you've been isolated or feeling kind of alone. And there's this need to like call out to your fellow, creators, this need to collaborate with other people. You have walked a very lone path lately where you've had to really rely on yourself. And, maybe it's been difficult for you to fully believe in yourself. But this is about exploring your passions deeper and really connecting with other like minded individuals, people who really follow that with you. I just think it's going to be a beautiful time for you to really dive deeper and see what you're made of, what the universe has to offer you. I think that a lot of people, it reminds me kind of like, I went to film school, okay? And the thing is, when you're in film school and you're a creative person, you don't want to just follow the rules. You don't want to just edit between the lines. Like, you don't want to color between the lines, right? You want to be creative and showcase what you can do. And so I kept doing that. I kept doing all those things, following the rules, but I got in trouble. I never got the kind of like praise or excitement that I was looking for because I was trying so hard to be my own person and do my own thing, and I wasn't following the exact like tasks. And I feel like that suppresses your creativity. I did not like that at all. And I think that's kind of the same mentality here, is that you don't need to suppress your creativity. Just because there's a right way to do something doesn't mean it's going to happen that way. Okay. Like, doesn't mean that you need to follow that way. Embrace it. Embrace it. Even if people are like, well, that's not how you're supposed to be creative. Fuck them. You are creative. You're a very creative soul. And I feel like you're going to be inspired. This is not the time where you're just going to sit back and think about things. This is like where you're going to make things happen, like manifest the things you want to create. Okay, so the amethyst deceiver, deception. Okay, I feel like there are other people that might try to use your work against you in one way or another. they're not going to be honest about you. You might feel like there are some people that might try to steal your ideas, steal your work, or just steal your spotlight, steal the praise that you deserve, right? I feel like this is going to be a very different time for you because not everyone's going to be on board with what you're doing. They're not going to be on board with someone who goes against the rules, right? And I feel like you're going to have to deal with some shady people. And it's going to be a really important time for you to dive deeper and figure out what it is that is most important to you, especially when it comes to your friends. Like I said, you're going to feel the need to connect with people, but you're also going to realize that a lot of people in your community aren't there for you. They're there for themselves. So, well, that's not a very positive message. It is a very important one because, oops, I dropped it. I feel like my cards right now don't even want to stay in the deck. Like, that's how excited they are about this reading to pop out at you. Okay. Now, a lot of this comes to inheriting your gifts. I feel like family might have a lot to say about your work or your passions. And you're going to have to kind of navigate like how much you want to take from that. How much of their feedback is necessary for you to create the life you want. I feel like they might resist a lot of the things that you're doing, but once you start actually showing progress or showing the results, like say you've been working on something for a really long time, but it hasn't really been paying off. Maybe you haven't been making money from it. And now that you are making money, they finally are on board with it because they never fully supported you in the first place. And so even if you have their support even a little bit, this is going to be a time to reevaluate who's actually on your side, even the people that are closest to you, right? I feel like that's really important. There's also this sense of pride in what you do. You might feel very inspired by your heritage. You might feel inspired by just the way you were raised, the people in your life. I usually, I just feel like the cards are kind of resisting me right now. It's weird. And I feel like this might have a lot to do with the energy that's playing out here. Okay. If you have been trying to convince a family member of something you're trying to do or a dream that you have, it might feel like you're going backwards. It might feel like things are difficult for you, you know? I just feel like this is the time where you're going to have to focus on yourself, you know? It might just feel like you're not really, you don't have to prove anything to them, you know? You don't have to show them a certain side of yourself. You don't have to give them anything. This is your life, your creation, your art. But I do see that this is also a time where you could monetize it. Maybe money might come in, manifesting more tangible things as a result of your passions. So if you've had like a side hustle or something that you're really interested in, this is the time where you might actually be able to manifest like more money, more results from the situation. Okay. I also feel like there's a sense of needing to protect what you have worked so hard for. This feeling of needing to take a stand against people who don't like your ideas. But remember, haters are going to hate. People are going to be distrustful. You're going to be distrustful. You can't trust everyone in your industry. You can't trust everyone. But the thing is, this is your like time to shine. This is about you. This is not about them. So it doesn't even matter whether you're trying to protect yourself or not. I feel like if someone tries to copy you, you might encounter some copycats, is what I'm getting to. If you try to stand up to these copycats or report them, I feel like it's a waste of your time because I feel like your work speaks for itself, you know? Yeah. Okay. I want to see a little bit who this person could be. I feel like there's more to this than that. So let me see what we have. Okay, we have someone who kind of lives a double life. I feel like this person has a lot going on with their mental health. They may not be as stable of a person. And so they put a lot of work into like other people around them. And you might be one of these people. When the werewolf comes up, the werewolf is one person and then they become a beast during the full moon. So this person might be unpredictable. This person might not be as like healthy of a relationship in your life, and I think you should be wary. I feel like your instincts are very on point. You're going to have to trust them. The thing about Virgo is they have such a strong ability to see the imperfections in things because they have such a strong vision of what it's supposed to look like. So they can see the flaws, they can see the things that are not working out, and they can see those people. And that's why sometimes Virgos, when they're not in their right headspace, can be very critical, right? Because they're feeling like they can't fully trust that their vision's going to come true, that what they're seeing is going to be full, is going to be a real thing, you know? It's kind of like when you have an ice sculpture and you're trying to carve out, it's like a big block of ice, but you're trying to carve out your vision, your statue through that. And I feel like Virgos are always chiseling away. They're always trying to get to that, what they see in that block of ice. But then they start to notice the little things that are going wrong. And that's where that criticism and that, discomfort comes out. And that's why they're so hard on themselves as well, because they see what they're doing wrong, right? So don't be that way. I know that's hard, but this is the time for you to be a visionary, for you to like embrace all the things that make you weird, that make you stand out. Really find that authenticity, because when you're coming from a really authentic place, these people that are fake or copying you or trying to take what you created, they are not going to matter. Okay. Hi. I'm not currently answering questions. I'm just doing the zodiac signs. So, at another time, you can check back in with me and I might answer questions. But right now, I'm just focusing on some of the signs for the month, for Gemini season. So, thank you so much, though, for, inquiring. All right. Oh, it's hot in here. But if I turn on the AC, it's going to be so loud. All right, Virgo. So we did Virgo. What do you mean? You think I will if it matters. Also, welcome back. Okay. I might turn on the AC later after this one, just for like a second. Um, oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for responding to them. Um, Hi Zoe, please read Gemini seasons for Gemini. Yeah, so I actually covered that one in my previous live. I had to break it up because it was getting to be too long. So go back to my previous live and there's the timestamp for that, and you can definitely check out what that reading is. Right now, I'm going to move on to the signs that are after Virgo. So we're going to do that, but yeah. Thank you for stopping by. I would definitely love to do that reading for you another time. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely will be answering questions in another live. We're doing like general readings for people, but right now we're focusing on these because I just have to get them out. I feel like it's not fair to do one person's like multiple signs and then not do the rest of them. I always feel like I have to include them all, you know? Wow. My shuffling skills are not like I don't feel like I have the dexterity in this in the morning. Yeah. Angus, remind me what your sign is. I think didn't we cover it? I believe we did, right? I just want to check because I don't remember. I wish I could remember everybody's. Okay. Wait, so we're doing Libra now. What? Okay. So that's exciting. All right. So what do we have for Libra season? I'm going to shuffle these. Okay. I mean, not Libra season, Gemini season. Oh, I didn't even shuffle that properly. Huh. Huh. Okay. The flame. Ooh, this is a really exciting time. The flame, also known as the spark. We're going to see really what this has to do with, but this is where a lot can happen. This can also have to do with love, but also passion, you know? Hi, cotton fly. I love that. Is that a real type of fly? I have no idea, but it sounds amazing. Sounds very soft. Welcome, welcome. All right. I need to focus. Okay. Oops. These cards are just popping out. All right. So if you have been waiting for like somebody or to make your move on something, this is going to be a very important time. Thank you so much. You'll have to let me know what your zodiac sign is. I would love to know. Okay. All right, back to Libra. So, yeah. I feel like this is going to be a moment where you have been biding your time. Maybe you've been waiting for a specific moment. This is the time to make that happen. So, especially with the flame, if you've been waiting to make a creative activity or something creative happen, spark up, this is the time to ignite that. When it comes to love, if you've been waiting to make your move or for things to kind of come into fruition with love, that's going to happen. This is the time for that. The archer, the archer sits there and waits with his arrow, right? And just waits and waits because if they just start shooting arrows, it's just going to go wherever. And it's kind of like a gamble. But a good archer will wait for the right time so that when they do aim at their target, they get the bullseye, right? They take their time planning, making sure everything's going well. You don't want to rush this, but this is the time to make your move. So this can apply to a lot of different areas of your life. But with the flame, I'm getting passion, love. If there's someone you have your eye on, this is about approaching them, or this is just the time. I feel like you've been waiting for something to happen. Whatever you've been waiting for, Libra, this is the time. Oh, okay, amazing. Aquarius, Pisces, nice. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's what I make these videos for. I want everyone to listen to different ones because I feel like it's so helpful to know. Ooh, so maybe this video is actually what you need because I feel like this Libra, you know, reading is for that. Okay, let me focus. All right. I feel like I need to channel the archer right now because I'm just shooting my arrows everywhere, you know? This is about planning ahead so that when you do release that arrow, when you do make your mark and, try to go for it, this is about actually going for it. So, cotton fly, if you are a Libra, I mean, if you are dating a Libra or have a crush on a Libra, this might be them holding back. They've been maybe planning or waiting or biding their time to before they approach you or they actually go for it. There's something about a Libra being needing to hold back, needing to take their time, right? So I just feel like if you've been wondering about that, that could resonate in the situation. All right. So let's look further at this flame. This could be a flame igniting. Like, finally, maybe you've been waiting for something to come to fruition. I just feel like for Libra, this is about their spark just illuminating things. Also, this is a time for revelations. I feel like you may not have known enough about someone or about something. This is where a truth comes out. Ooh, okay. I also feel like this is a major time for Libra to stand up to somebody that they like are having a difficult time with. Maybe they've just been holding back. Maybe it's their boss. But I'm getting it's someone that they care deeply about or they're passionate about. But this is about them getting a backbone because what Libra does is they can be they like to see everyone's side of things. They want to stay out of the conflict and they're good at mediating, right? They're good at being objective about a situation. So sometimes they actually don't have that backbone to actually pick a side or go for what they want. And this is telling me that this is this time for Libra to really stand up for themselves, to really gear up, right? All right. And I do feel like this is also about like aligning with someone, aligning with your passions. I feel like there is something that in some ways things might feel like they haven't fully been clicking. And now this is like you've waited for so long for something to happen and it's going to come to fruition. It's powerful. I just feel like this is a time where instead of having to kind of force things to go through, this is where you finally feel like things are aligning in your life, where you can adapt to your situation. You might feel kind of like a chameleon, like you're trying to please both sides or different people, or maybe you're bouncing around to different situations. But this is the time for you to like pick that path and really like go for what you want. You don't have to be so changeable. You don't have to please everybody. It's an interesting thing because Libras, they excel at being there for someone, right? They require balance to be happy, to be themselves, and to also, they're very creative individuals. And they do have this romantic side to them. So they really want to find that way of balance, but it's important. It's really important for them to also figure out what it is they need, what it is they want. And this is the time where you're going to feel like that empowerment. I feel like Libras try to be very flexible sometimes, and it can be their greatest attribute, but it can also be their downfall. And so we have this balance that needs to happen. But yeah, I just feel like this is something where you might have had to cater to other people to fit in or to do what they want. Now it's your time. Um, I also feel like it's if you feel like you've been taking too long to create something or do something, don't feel that way. Things are happening in perfect timing. Mm, okay. I think that there has been some fear, is what I'm getting to. Maybe you've been afraid to approach this person, or you've kind of been afraid that you're saying the wrong thing. You might have felt kind of like this doomsday feeling, but that darkness is something that you'll overcome, you know? I hope so. It feels like that. He has been holding back. There's an energy now that it's like he's going to tell me something. I feel like, well, with the cards, I feel like this is obviously it's his choice, right? But I feel like this is the vibe, the energy around him for this season. So, and as far as this season go, I realize that Gemini season is over almost. So, this is definitely like going further into July. Like it's just me channeling the Gemini energy. But yeah, I definitely feel like this could manifest that way for you. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, they need to develop this backbone. They need to go after what they want. And it depends on where your Libra's at, right? So if your Libra were watching this, I would say, I would tell them to go for it, to, follow, to say what they need to say, to not just stay back and hang back and wait for other people to take center stage. Like, it's important for them to follow what they're passionate about, follow who they're passionate about. I don't know who we is, but I am no longer doing that channel. So, yeah, sorry. Sorry to disappoint. It was fun while it lasted, but it didn't feel like it was in alignment with what I needed. So, but I appreciate you sticking around to the point where you ask me about this. Oh, hi, Vinay. I don't know if you're still here, but welcome back. Welcome. I love this. I don't know if you're still here, Angus, but send me a smoke signal if you are, because I'm still talking about Libra, but I'm getting really distracted and I just want to see if you're still around. Okay. All right. So let's continue. I'm glad you're here. Interesting. Now, I feel like this is a very specific message. It's almost like it feels like levels in your life. I feel like there is somebody that it may actually be you. I feel like I don't know if you're a business owner, if you're kind of in the lead at your workplace, but it feels like there's kind of this need to take charge, this strong need to be, you know, to really own your place and really like be the one in command of your life. But you also might feel like you're defending your place. So it feels like whatever you're trying to start, it almost feels like you have to defend it. You have to keep it safe. This reminds me of kind of a lantern, right? A lantern where things are where the flame is slowly dying down because you're feeling like maybe things are like you don't have enough control. And I think that's something you really need to keep. But I also feel like you have to channel like your inner alpha, right? Your inner dominant side. And that's part of getting the backbone is like, gearing up to go after what you want. I also feel like when it comes to career, this is the time where you might feel like you're leveling up, where you're maybe moving up in the world. But it also feels like you might be feeling like you have to, like, you're torn between these two careers or these two options. It might feel like you're torn between what you're passionate about and just like work. So I feel like that's something you need to protect. You need to protect that flame, that spark, that desire. A lot of this comes down to desire and what you want and what you need. So I hope that makes sense here. I feel like you have a very strong, even though you're, it's interesting because even though you're somebody who's extremely flexible and open, right? I feel like you still have very strong values. And that's something that's really going to come into play. And I feel like some of the passion might clash with values. Yeah, interesting. This kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones, where you're trying to keep the throne even though everybody else wants it, and everyone wants to sit upon this rusty throne, but it's so symbolic. And I just think that this is kind of what it is, like, keep your throne. Don't let other people take it. Take charge of your life. This is really about stepping up and, whatever you've been waiting for, it's time. It's just time. It's about timing. Okay. I love this. I feel like you're finally at a place where you can give back, where you can actually contribute. It's beautiful, and I feel like if you're doubting yourself, if you feel like you don't have anything to contribute, you do. There is definitely passion here. I also feel like you might be trying to protect what you have. Maybe you feel like you have to give something. Some of you might be, for example, you know, married or in a relationship, and maybe you had kids and it didn't work out. This is just an example. And you felt like you have to keep giving a lot even though you're not fully in that situation anymore, which is common with like child support or feeling like you have to give financially in a situation or materialistically. Maybe somebody is crashing on your couch and you just feel like you have to kind of keep them like happy, keep things going. And you also have to remember that if you're trying to invest in something, a lot of the time like if you're trying to start a career or a business of your own, you have to spend money. And it's kind of counterproductive, right? Because you're trying to make money, but you have to spend money in order to make money. It sucks. I don't know why the universe is like that, but that's just the way it is. Sometimes in order to manifest something, we have to like give a lot of ourselves in order to make that happen. It would be nice if we could just sit back and everything just fell into our lap, but we can't. I also feel like this could be a time where you have to stand up to someone that feels more, that acts superior to you, because you have to believe in yourself, believe in your passion, believe in what you love, who you love. It's interesting because initially I thought, okay, this is giving me a lot of romance vibes. But what I'm also getting is this definitely has a lot more to do with your confidence, your security, and your kind of role in whatever dynamic you're in, whether it's work, whether it's relationships, whether it's like just a crush, you know? I have a Libra moon. This I definitely like for people to see, yeah, because I feel like this is more of like sun, moon, or rising. It doesn't necessarily just have to be um the sun sign, just to be clear. So yeah, it definitely could resonate with you. I've been giving an inch, people take a mile, and I'm getting, yeah, it's intense. I mean, I just feel like that's a thing, like, you have to protect this. You're not, like, you're not a fully manifesting it yet. It's like there's that spark, right? That passion you have to keep going. So, I just feel like there is a sense of needing to, like, you know, set very strong boundaries and stand up to people who don't like it, who are trying to silence you or trying to make you feel small. But also remembering you do have to, like, contribute, you have to give in order to get. And it sucks because Libra often gives a lot of themselves to another person, in order to feel that sense of relationship, right? And so they can get into this trap of needing to find balance, needing to step out of it, needing to be in it. It's just, it's intense. And I feel like a lot of you, I don't know if you're a very talkative person, but when the rabbit comes up, it's like this feeling of needing to, like, word vomit sometimes, and, like, just needing, kind of feeling this anxiety of, like, expecting the worst out of a situation and just kind of, like, freaking out about it. And other people are like, do you have to keep talking about this? Like, it's not as bad as you think it is. But a lot of this is in your head, is what I'm trying to get at. A lot of what you're going through is in your head. And it's this boost of confidence you need. Now there's something ignited within you, you know? I don't know. Angus, does this make sense to you? I'm really glad that this is resonating with you, Cottonfly. I think that that's good enough. Oh, also, I forgot to do this for Virgo, but I want to see if there's anything the astrological dice have to say. Okay, so we do have Gemini and we also have Taurus. Interesting. I feel like with the third house, there's, like, a lot of communication mishaps going on. It might feel like if you've been waiting to tell someone something or have a talk, this is going to be a powerful time for that as well. Okay, that's totally fine. I totally respect that. Um, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you were also, like, receiving this and getting something out of it. You don't have to share anything. It's totally fine. I feel that. Um, yeah. Okay. I do see, like, this is kind of a pattern that's been playing out in your past lives as well. There's some kind of karmic reaction going on, and I totally feel like this is something that needs to be resolved in order for you to feel like you can release this energy in your next life. I mean, that's kind of something that's difficult, right? Because you don't really know. Oh, thank you so much, Holly. I'm so glad that this was helpful to you and, like, it resonated. Yeah. I just feel like this is an important time, you know? If things may have felt like they were on hold or maybe you've been just waiting, now is, like, this is the time to take action. It's powerful. These three cards together, this is not just something that is going to be temporary. This is a moment, a really powerful moment. But remember, you have to give to get. That's the thing I'll say again. I love how I'm trying to incorporate a lot of different oracle cards in this particular reading because I love oracle cards and I love the energy that I'm getting off of some of these. Ooh, this is actually a really important message. I love how I'm getting a lot of Libra people right now. This represents greed, right? Feeling like this hunger, this desire for more, feeling like you can't fully feel satiated, like things haven't felt like enough, you know? It's like it doesn't feel like enough. And I feel like the energy here is there's kind of this desperation, this hunger for life, for passion. I don't know if you've been deprived of it. Maybe you felt like lately things have been I need to let me quit this. you know, whenever something like that happens where I get an alarm while I'm reading, it feels like confirmation for me. So it is but it's also really important because sometimes we can get so carried away. And I think that this is kind of like a little warning saying that's why you also have to really contribute, really make sure that you are also giving instead of just really being focused on that flame, you know? It's just it's interesting, you know? And with Libra it always comes down to balance. And it's not always a bad thing because I feel like what people perceive as greed can also just be ambition to some people. And so it's kind of about how you perceive it as well. Yeah. Okay. I think that's good. Um I need to take a quick second to like drink some water because what happens is I get so excited about reading and then I just burn out my voice and then I'm like I want to come on tomorrow but then I can't talk. So I actually have very weak vocal cords, which is a problem. Also, for anyone who watches my astrology videos, I wasn't offering astrology content like readings before, but I do offer a like astrology intuitive reading, which is more of like looking at your chart and seeing really what stands out and what pops out, and including other tools. So if you guys are interested in that, you're welcome to look at that because a lot of people were asking me about that. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about that. Um, my sign is Taurus, Gemini, Cusp. So yeah, I'm a Gemini, cusp of energy. Okay, Libra, Scorpio. We're doing Scorpio next. Oh boy. So Scorpio, what do we see for Gemini season? Remember, if you are stopping by and you're a Scorpio, this is this is about me channeling Gemini season energy, but this could just take place within this time period because Gemini season is almost over at this point. So keep that in mind. The vessel. I love that. Okay, let's elaborate. Whoops. Oh my God. Love. This is just such a beautiful thing. I feel like this is my favorite card, the poet, because it basically just represents that romantic love. I feel like this is the time, especially with the vessel. The vessel, a lot of the time, has to do with your body. I feel like this is a beautiful time for like physical, intimate connections and also feeling vulnerable, letting your guard down a little bit, especially like in the bedroom, especially when it comes to romance. Scorpio is a very sexual sign. I feel like, you know, and bisexual, I don't just mean like sex, I mean like pleasure. I feel like this is the time to treat your body, fall in love with your body all over again, you know? Take care of yourself because you have your body, but a lot of the time when we go on some kind of spiritual journey, we forget to take care of it. We're so focused on enlightening ourselves and like detaching from ourselves in a way. This is a reminder to ground yourself. This is a reminder to experience things to the fullest. Get really physical, get really playful, enjoy your pleasure. And also, this is about learning to appreciate things that you kind of don't like about yourself physically. So if you find yourself looking in the mirror and you're like, ew, no, I mean, a lot of you probably do love yourselves, but there are things that we don't even realize we're doing. For example, sometimes I look down at my legs and I'm like, oh my God, so much cellulite, right? And it's not that I don't like my legs or my body, but I'm like, it's something I really zero in on, you know? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, but it's also drawing attention to something. And I feel like that's where you need to look at yourself and say, I love you. You are beautiful. You are fantastic. Really mend that relationship with your body. This is the time to explore things on a deeper level, sexually and also pleasure wise. I feel like a lot of sacral energy is coming up. This drive, this need to feel and like create. There's a lot of creative energy going on here, huh? A lot of this comes down to playfulness, like being able to play, being able to find people who bring out that kind of playful energy, the inner child. Yeah. And I just feel like this is the time to find someone who is a like minded soul. A lot of you who are dating, this is a powerful time for you. You're going to definitely feel like your body plays a huge role in it. And also, you have to, this is also a reminder that looks aren't everything. Sometimes we can get very caught up on certain things and we forget to focus on what's inside and what really matters. And I feel like you have to be careful not to push yourself too much. You have to be careful to listen to your intuition, to that sacral part. And if it's not pleasurable, get out of it. This is your permission slip to get out. If you are in a relationship with someone and you feel like you're not getting pleasure and you feel like you're totally having to rely completely on yourself, then you need to focus on being with yourself. Like that person is not your person. I don't feel like they're ready for you. It's almost like your energy is too big for them right now. But yeah, this is definitely going to center around your relationships and center around your physical self. I see a lot of you maybe wanting to get a tattoo or thinking about like physical appearance changes. And you have to make sure you're doing it for you, not for another person. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. I love the dolphin because whenever I get this card, it makes me think of best friends, like people who are just so tight, like they just have so much fun and they share so much in common. And I feel like this is a time for you to also find your tribe. I don't know. Fitness is also coming through. Like maybe this is a time for you to get in shape or to join a gym or whatever you want to do. But really focus on your health. I also feel like this could be a really good time for you to have like an accountability partner, someone who needs to be accountable. Okay. So there is somebody that you might be holding on to. I feel like I'm getting the sense of like you're trying to make things work, but this person is not like in alignment with you right now. And I feel like you have to release them in order for things to align with them. I know that's kind of weird, and you shouldn't go into it with the idea that, oh, I'm going to get back together with this person. I feel like it doesn't mean that it's over, but it means that you have to let them go. You have to set them free. Because Scorpio, let's face it, they can be sometimes possessive. They really cling to things. They really like to do things in a very extreme way, which is not everyone's cup of tea. But they also transform so much through their relationships, through pleasure. And I feel like a lot of the time, other people have a difficulty with this. And that's why Scorpios get such a bad rep, but they are one of the most like intense and beautiful and passionate signs, right? And I feel like this is the time where you're going to have to release somebody, release that thing, that person that you're like associating your transformation with, that you're so invested in, because when you do that, that's how you're going to blossom and flourish. All right, let's see what the cards have to say here. Okay. Well, this basically confirms what I just said. There's this sense of people clashing with you, people not fully being in alignment with you, not fully agreeing with you. And you're trying to figure out what you actually believe and what you want. And I feel like this person is going to, it's difficult, right? Ace of Swords. Oh boy. I don't even think it's going to happen gradually. Like, this is going to be something where words hurt, right? Like, you're going to, words are a weapon. I feel like that's what I'm getting here is this person is going to cut you verbally with this sword. I don't usually take the Ace of Swords in such a literal way, right? But this is really coming across to me. Maybe it's because the vessel is so physical. We're having all this physical energy. But I'm literally seeing like somebody speaking to you in a way that you don't like, or disrespecting you, or it's kind of like a wake up call. You kind of finally see the truth, is what I'm getting. And I feel like you might be getting mixed messages. Someone might be beating around the bush. I don't understand what that is. That a screwdriver? That's kind of cute, actually. I love this card because when it's reversed, it often represents like this overflowing of feelings, overflowing of love. We also have this representation of friendship, of feeling like you have to lean on your friends. Maybe there's a lot of friendship drama, is what I'm getting. It could feel like there's mixed messages. A lot of this might have to do with love, but also friendship and finding people that you can disagree with, but that it doesn't have to be like a huge deal, right? I just feel like there's some butting heads here. And you have to ask yourself, what kind of activities are you doing with people? You might have to dial it back a little. I feel like things are getting too intense, too overwhelming. But it's also such a beautiful time for you to like explore what you need and your feelings and letting yourself feel all these things. I just feel like you're this emotional being that needs to express themselves. Oh yeah. I see that now. Okay. Makes sense. Tiny sword. I mean, a screwdriver could be a weapon when you think about it. All right, Scorpio. I actually feel this is the perfect representation for Scorpio. You know, the phoenix, it turn when it's into ashes, or when it dies, right? It gets reborn. It rises from the ashes. It's all about transformation and starting fresh and just, yeah, transforming, changing your life, changing yourself. This is an indicator that this is a major time of transformation for you physically. You might feel like there are changes. This could be like a glow up. This could be, there's a lot of beauty going on, I feel like, but also changes in your friend group, changes in your relationships. Things will never look the same after this. It's like a major shift here. And getting down to the truth, getting down to what really matters. I feel like it's really important for you to be careful of burnout. Don't let yourself burn out by taking on too much socially. You're going to need to recharge and take care of yourself. Yeah, let's see what we have. Okay, we have Pisces and Scorpio. And I also feel like this could be a karmic situation. Yeah, but Scorpio is a very karmic, like it's a very karmic sign. You know, things just keep repeating themselves, patterns. What you put into it, you're going to get out of it, kind of thing. I feel like this is a pattern. You're going through major shifts, major transformations, and it just has to happen. It has to. It's not going to be something you have much control over. What you can control is who you let go of, what you're willing to keep in your life, what you're clinging to. You can't help who you love. You can't help who loves you. You can't control other people. Just feel your feelings, let them purge. This is also a time for purging your emotions. I love how Pisces and Scorpio are both water signs. You know, like I said, this is such an emotional moment. These are signs to look out for. Remember, it can represent sun, moon, or rising. And the Scorpio could represent you, you know? So, yeah. Oh, hi. Angus on the loose. I love that. You guys crack me up. Oh my God. Nice to see you too. Okay. Wait, I love that you have that name too. I love that. That's very cute. It's very cute. That made my day. I feel like now I can go on with my day just happy because of that. So, all right. Scorpio, Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so I'm psyched about this. All right, Sagittarius. I need drink. I also have tea. This is like caramel tea. Honey. I'm such a tea person. All right. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sagittarius. It is time. The bridge. Wow. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. I'm automatically feeling a sense of peace when I'm channeling this because it just feels like there's some deep connection going on. I love how I said I'm seeing this sense of peace and we get the vengeance card. And you know, there's something about this. I know it doesn't sound peaceful. Revenge is not peaceful, okay? But I do feel like you can choose to get revenge or you can choose to connect. You can choose to overcome this. And right now, it might feel like there's this choice. I feel like somebody might have wronged you, or it may not even be wronged you. It feels like they there's like a disconnect between them, and I feel like you could take it one way or you could take it another way. They might have said something that made you feel, bad or uneasy, but for some reason, I'm just seeing you're kind of above this. You're kind of in the situation where you're willing to reach out and not let it get to you. There's a lot of heightened emotions, and it's interesting because it's such a like, I don't know, I just feel this so like this sense of calm coming over me. And this is how I feel sometimes personally. Like I've had a rough past, and sometimes I need to remember that all that stuff that I went through, it just made me stronger. It made me who I am, and I channel that. And I choose to turn it into something that makes me feel good about myself. I know that's kind of messed up, but I have a really big imagination. So, you're going to have to make a very important choice, but I feel like you got this, is what I'm saying. I feel like you have this under control. There is somebody that you might have to reach out to. I'm not saying you have to forgive them, but you can choose to move on. You can choose to bridge that gap. I feel like a lot of this is also a consequence. There could be somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while because of mixed feelings or difficulties, and you feel the need to reach out to them, or you're thinking about them. I want to look a little further at this because it feels like a very specific message. Okay, so with the fish, I love this. I feel like you maybe have been trying to go with the flow, but this person might be reaching out to you, or you might be called to reach out to this person who somehow wronged you. Maybe they rubbed you the wrong way, maybe they did something to upset you, but there's this feeling of like you're no longer holding on to things, or no longer trying to control the situation. I feel like you're choosing to just kind of go with it, go with the flow. And that's kind of how it is, right? With the fish, they don't really have a direction they're going. They're just going in the stream, the current's pulling them through, they're swimming along. And so you might not even know where you're going with all this. You just know that this choice needs to be made, and you need to figure out how you're going to connect with this person, if you're going to answer their calls, or if you're going to answer their texts, or if you're going to do it. Actually, this was a theme for me. Personally, I had this friend, and it wasn't that we had a fight or anything, but I felt like she was cutting me out of her life. It felt like she wasn't really being genuine. It felt like I was the only one reaching out. I was the only one trying to connect. And I knew that she was someone that was very like reserved, but at the same time, I was like, is this worth it? Is this worth continuing? Is it worth me getting upset over it? No, I just think I'm going to go with the flow and live my life. And if she really wants to be friends with me, she can reach out to me. And you know what I did? I reached out again first. And then we went to a carnival together, and it was really fun. No, it was with a Gemini actually. I don't know, but I have so many Gemini friends lately. Yeah. I wonder what that's about. Hmm. Okay. I blanked for a sec. See, this is what I mean, like this calm energy. It's just kind of like I often feel I often get feelings a lot through my readings. Like I can feel when there's tension. I feel it, and I have difficulty sometimes speaking through it. But then there are times when I just feel like, blah. And that's just another indicator there. I think it's kind of cool. For Gemini, are you a Gemini, Chris? I need to focus on a Leo. I love Leos because I think that I have yet to meet a Leo that I didn't like. Maybe that's the thing. You know, I just think they're fun, but at the same time, they make really good friends. I have a really good friend that's a Leo, and I just love her to death. I love her. I just feel like she's super accepting and open. Okay, so you're a Leo Cancer cusp. I wonder if I did that one already. I can try to do it. If you stick around, I can do it after. Yeah, I can do it after this if you want. I don't remember if I did that one or not. Okay. All right, let me finish the Sagittarius. And yeah. Hmm. There's a lot of like obsessing about making plans. I feel like there's like you have all these fantasies of things you'd like to do, but it's like, are you going to start doing them? Are you going to actually keep keep going? You know? Yeah, it's a sense of like needing to jumpstart, needing to like because it's almost like you have been overthinking things, over planning things. Oh my god, I relate to this so much. This is scary. But yeah, I just feel like you've been you have all these like fantasies, things you want to make happen, things you want to do. You might feel this pressure that it's the summer. I need to just have fun and like go out there and do all these exciting new things. And you know deep down you might not be able to do all of them. Multiple reasons. Maybe you can't afford it. Maybe you have other priorities, but there's some joy in making plans and like I have a bucket list, right? Like that's a big thing with Sagittarius is they need to experience life, they need to grow, they need to learn. You know, they're like gypsies where they just travel around and like grow and that's how they become their person because the person that they are, they just constantly changing, constantly taking in things, leveling up in life, and it's magic. And sometimes just the idea of like of fantasizing about the future, fantasizing about things is exciting. But I feel like there's a lot of inspiration coming through here too. You might feel inspired to go visit somebody, to go see something. I feel like there's somebody who has been wanting to meet you or reconnect with you, and this might be a time for you to go see them. I feel like there's like this sense of an epiphany or something coming up where you're really done talking about it. You just want to open your bucket list and check stuff off the list. But also with the fish here, we have this just like this go with the flow, feel things through. Don't overthink it, don't overplan. So you might be feeling this sense of balance, this feeling of, well, I need to make a choice, but I also want to go with the flow, you know, this back and forth. The ghost mushroom. This is your time to really like, I feel like this is a time where you're going to manifest things that you've been fantasizing. Like it does have to do with really realizing what is possible for you and really like something being illuminated. I feel like your path, there's something about your path, maybe a new branch off of it that is illuminated, a new decision you can make. Whereas you might have felt like you didn't have a choice before, you can choose the road you're taking. So I think that's a really beautiful place to be. Yeah. You know, it's always hard for me to it's harder for me when I don't have people watching to talk about their sign. That's one of the reasons that I love it when you guys tune in so much is because I feel it feels like I'm taking a shot in the dark because I'm trying to channel like the collective as opposed to feeling that energy in front of me. The Myrmidon. Myrmidon has to do with feeling weakness. Ooh, California, West Coast. Nice. Welcome. Wait, isn't it early there? It's really early. I'm on the East Coast. Whoa. Okay. It will definitely be difficult because I feel like something is unsustainable. I'm seeing a situation where you know you can't go on like this, Sagittarius. Things are messy. And you have to be able to move forward. You have to be able to not let the bonds that you have with the people you care about die out or become weak. There's this feeling of a lack of compatibility and like not being able to fit with someone. Perhaps that does come down to this idea of vengeance, of feeling like there is a sense of like things aren't sustainable, things aren't able to keep going. And it also might feel like you're just shining brighter than this other person. You're standing out. I applaud you. I wake up early usually, but that that is a lot. That is I don't know. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you have some like tea or coffee or something. I got my tea. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I love this. Okay, we got Libra, we got Sagittarius, and we have Scorpio. So when we have the seventh house, the house of relationships, partnerships, this does indicate that this really does come down to your relationships, the people in your life, a connection. And I do feel like Scorpio and Sagittarius, it could also be a Scorpio Sagittarius cusp for some of you, cusp of revolution, love it. Um, I feel like they are this could be sun, moon, or rising, and it could represent this other person that you're trying to bridge this gap with or connect with. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful. You can't force it, you know, but don't be afraid to plan, to fantasize, to really get out there. This may not be the time for you to like be your solo person where you like tackle life because I feel like you still have things to work through with the people in your life, and that's really a theme here. But focus on what makes you happy, focus on what makes you, blossom and feel like you're in your element. That's where you're going to shine right now. Yeah. All right. These are negative cards. Okay, let's face it. The basilisk often represents a destructive force in your life. Things falling apart, things being messy, something important being destroyed. But this is something you can overcome. And it's similar to the Tower card in the way that things need to blow up sometimes in order to get better, in order to like grow and blossom into where they're meant to be. Oh, who's the Sag? So I am doing, I don't know if this is going to answer your question, but I am doing also, thank you for subscribing. That's really, I really appreciate that. seriously. Um, so I'm doing the readings for Gemini season, or just like this time, because Gemini season is almost over, for each of the signs. So, what is your sign? I would love to know. So, Chris, are you still here? I know it's been a while. Awesome. Okay. So let's look at Cancer, Leo, cusps. I don't believe I did that one. Sometimes I need to write them down. I need to do better. All right. Pisces sun, Gemini rising, Libra moon. Okay, cool. Hi, Amaryllis. I need to check. Did I do those? I'll check in a second. I'll check in a second. You know what? Actually, let me check, because I don't want to do it twice. I hope that this is working. Give me a second. I just want to make sure. Mm, hmm. I'm going to take this time to just drink this really quick. Okay. Okay, so I did Gemini, Cancer, cusp, Pisces, Aries, cusp, Taurus, Gemini, cusp, and Aquarius, Capricorn, cusp. Okay, so if you're a Gemini, Cancer, cusp, you can definitely go watch that one. That's for Gemini season. I want to make sure I'm covering the ones I haven't done. Aquarius, Pisces, cusp. Did I? But I think in the last live, I don't think I did Aquarius, Pisces. Did I? Oh, I did Aquarius, Capricorn, or Capricorn, Aquarius. Okay. So I might do that one after Cancer. I just agreed to do Cancer, Leo, so I don't want to I don't want to like just keep bouncing around. I know you've been here longer, but I can do it in when I'm done with Cancer, Leo. I hope that's okay. All right. I need to like do better at like writing down what I've already done. All right, Cancer, Leo, cusp. Let's do it. So this is a collective reading. So while I might be channeling a little bit of your energy, Chris, I'm probably going to be addressing a lot of the Cancer, Leo, cusps. All right, so Cancer, Leo, cusp for Gemini season. The Healer. Wow, I love this card. Let me get some more cards. Ooh, the Masquerade. Okay. This is really important. I feel like this comes down to your identity. There may be a lot that you've been projecting onto other people or you've been dealing with, because there's a lack of, it may feel like you've had to put on a facade or put on like some kind of, it doesn't feel like you're being fully authentic, and a lot of the time we do this for protection or to make other people happy. We put on the mask that we need to put on in order to survive, in order to like appease them. I feel like right now this is the time where you're healing your sense of identity, your sense of self. And we all mask. Everyone does. And if you're neurodivergent like me and you're learning to unmask, which is a whole other thing, it's a really big deal because we do so much for other people, the way we live our lives, right? And I just feel like this is the time where you're going to lift off that mask. You're going to start healing what's on the inside so you can shine more brightly on the outside. And I just feel like this is about really finding your authentic self and really healing who you are. This has not been an easy time for you. I feel like there's a lot of inner wounding going on. I actually feel a sense of like you're on the mend, you are healing, but I just feel like you've been through so much that you need to like you've had to harden yourself or like, put on be someone in order to be happy and survive. And this has a lot to do with, Cancer, Leo. Leo is they're so precious, but the masquerade is perfect for them, right? Because they have the theatrical side. They are very expressive. And sometimes they don't express them when they don't express themselves authentically, they feel suppressed, they feel unhappy, right? So it's not good. Yeah, I just feel like you know, this is the time for you. And then the Cancer side just wants this nurturing. They want to feel safe. They want to heal. They want to be the healer, but they also need to heal themselves. And they feel this need to like take care of other people sometimes, but they also feel the need to be right about things. And I just feel like the cusp of oscillation is just this it can be a shit show, but it can also be like the most beautiful thing because there's such a balance that needs to be found. And this is the time where you have been focusing so much on this exterior, right? And I just feel like you need to figure your sense of self out now. Whew, whew. Okay. The King of Pentacles. Let me see what other cards we have here. Oh my God. The King of Pentacles is somebody who has their empire, right? They have spent their life building up what they want their life to look like. I feel like you're somebody with a vision. You've always had this kind of idea of what you want your life to be like, and sometimes it can feel like it's just out of reach, all that. And you're trying so hard to protect that. You're just trying so hard to work at it, but it feels like it's not enough. And even when you have enough, it might feel like it's not enough. What I am seeing here also is that you have so much power in your life with the King of Pentacles. There's a sense of like really being able to do things in a tangible way. I feel like you're not the most it's interesting because Cancer Leo cusps can be outgoing, right? That's the Leo energy, but they also have such an inward side. Like they're very emotional and mushy on the inside. And so it's almost like you are kind of hiding that side of yourself. I feel like you're like I'm trying to think of what's emotional. Like what's mushy on the inside. But I just feel like this exterior doesn't match the inside and you built up this life for yourself. I feel like you're not in a stage where you're just beginning. I feel like you're in a stage where you're manifesting. You've manifested a lot already. And I do see I don't know if it has to do with fatherhood or like a father figure. Oh my God, Father's Day is coming up. But I just feel like that's actually playing a huge role here. There's a sense of what we learn is passed down to us, but also feeling like we have to take care of others and take care of things and kind of be like fit this role or be strong for other people. This often happens when we have a family. We feel the need to play a part in this family to make sure that everyone's safe or make sure that everyone's doing this. And like it just feels like a sense of you've worked so hard to get to where you are. And now it's about embracing your life, embracing like your passions and really finding yourself and your identity. Who are you? You know? I also feel like your environment is really impactful to you right now. There's this feeling of needing to, I don't know if it's like redecorate, but feeling the need to make sure that you feel like your home is your home. Like it feels like you. Like when people walk in, they can see your space. They can see that it's you. But I just feel like you're still kind of working on that. It's interesting. Your role is just so important here. I feel like there's a lot of like this traditional idea of who you're supposed to be versus, your feelings, your this kind of ever changing person that you are. You're growing. So don't like stunt that growth. Don't stop yourself from growing because otherwise you're not going to heal. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. It's almost like you're getting in your own way. So this is really about you. I see family maybe coming into play. I feel like there is a sense of like, I don't know if it's the divine masculine, but this feeling of needing to work, to take action when you have that mushy side. You're so like, you have this like really endearing side. So let yourself feel that. Let yourself, I just feel like this is the time for processing these things that you may not have had the chance to process. Oh my God. I love this. So we have, defense, balance. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, you have to find this way of balancing that. Like, how can you be that person for other people? But it's also about other people accepting you, right? Like, if that's one of the reasons that you have this mask, part of it is because you're trying to be this person, right? So a lot of this has to do with where you belong, like where you with healing, and also like making sure that you're setting very strong boundaries for yourself so that other people can't sway you from this path, sway you from this direction. Yeah, really interesting. I also feel like you might, I don't know if you have some issues with getting defensive, but these cards can indicate someone who's kind of stubborn, or like when people try to break their walls down a little bit, they can try to harden, or like, and that could be the Cancer part as well, just feeling like you have to like scuttle back in your shell and, you know, I wouldn't say run away, but maybe escape because things feel too intense. I just feel like you have, whenever I see the swan, it always makes me feel like a mirror, like reflecting who you are back to you. We have this like ugly duckling story of how the swan, it was actually a swan, but it thought it was a duckling. And then it just tried to be friends and tried to fit in, but it just looked like a really weird duck. And then as it grew older, it realized, whoa, I'm actually a swan. I feel like that's you. You're in this situation where you've kind of been trying to like wear this mask to be with other people, to like, fit in, or like to align with others. But the truth is, you haven't been aligning with others because you haven't been able to be yourself. And that's important. I don't know if you're a writer, or if you like to read, or I feel like you need to write this down. You need to journal. This has to do with like expression. And that is so crucial for any Leo energy type, right? Because you have to express. I don't see talking about it being as healing though, you know? I feel like it's less about communicating with people and more about reflecting on yourself. Um, if you're writing a memoir, this is the time to write your memoir. But really being able to tell your story in your words, in your expression, it's just beautiful. This is a very strong moment of healing, of surrendering to that path. of just really loving who you are and really like exploring that. But you need to make sure you're safe doing that. You need to set some really strong boundaries to do that. Oops. Okay. Almost. I think we're almost got the message through. Pegasus. I feel like you're trying to be the hero a little bit. I know that these ads might run as well, so I apologize for that, guys. But Pegasus is it's about being the hero. Yeah. And feeling like you have to like stand up for other people or have like a kind of I don't know, come to the rescue in a way. I don't know if you have a savior complex. Ooh, we have a lot of um Scorpio and Pisces vibes again. So that might really resonate with you. I think the ads are going to start running. So I don't want you to feel cut off. But yeah, that's basically what I would say here. Look at your trauma, look into it. I hope this was helpful, Chris. Hmm. I feel like I don't know if you've gone through depression or just like you've had to like deal with some emotional things, but I just feel like this is like a release for you. It's a moment of deep reflection, of really letting down that mask, but also maintaining some distance from other people. I'm glad it was helpful. That's super that's really good to hear because um I mean, that's like the goal. So, all right. Um Thank you so much for that opportunity. Cotton fly. Are you still there? I know it's been a while. Aquarius, Pisces, Cusp. I can do that one. Okay, awesome. All right. I need a second. Wait. Oh yeah, Rachel, I will definitely get to Pisces as well, but I realized taking a little while, but you definitely might get something out of this. And also, this is also like it could represent your sun, moon, or rising sign. So it doesn't have to represent just your yeah. It doesn't just have to represent your sun sign. All right. I'm going to eat this because I get really bad blood sugar dips, so I'm trying to avoid that. Okay. That was fun. All right. Aquarius, Pisces for Gemini season. The shaman. I love that. I love how we had the healer and now we have the shaman. That's a really exciting thing. I feel like that's a really big theme. Ooh, the assassin reversed. Okay. I don't know. I feel like you're leveling up in a way spiritually. So with the assassin, I feel like there are people that you might have cut out of your life before. Maybe you felt like you had to get rid of them, not rid of them, but like they weren't good for you or they were toxic for you. And now it's kind of about um I don't know, maybe you burned some bridges. I feel like there's a lot of burning of bridges. Perhaps you did that when you were younger, but at the same time, it feels like you might want to reach out to them now and reconnect and make amends. And that's difficult if you have a lot of pride. But I feel like you've kind of you're not in the same place you were back then. There's a sense of feeling like you can level up spiritually to the point where now you realize how beautiful those moments were or those relationships. I'm not sure if you're regretting them, but I feel like you you had some moments where you burned some bridges. You had to walk away, and now you might need that person, or you might feel like you want to check in on that person. But obviously that's not easy because you might have left things in a difficult way. So I feel like this is a time where you might feel the need to really like revisit these burned bridges, which is a very specific message. And this is really, yeah, it's scary because if you, I burned a lot of bridges too. And a lot of the time, especially like, I feel like it's easy to block people now. And like, if they're not serving you, if they're kind of toxic, but you also have to remember that they grow as well. And I feel like doing things in the mature, difficult, like in a mature way, like I probably wouldn't handle a lot of the things the same way, right? And I just feel like you're at a stage where on your spiritual journey where you have gone through so much, you're not that same person. And of course, you still don't want to be treated poorly, but I feel like there's this urge to, I don't know, I don't know if it's apologize, but it's like sometimes we can cut people out of our life so abruptly. I'm getting that. So I'm going to pull another one of these. Ooh, this is the time for you to step into your power. I just feel like this is a time where you know that you're on the verge of something more, but you have loose ends you need to tie up. I feel like there's some hesitation because you don't fully believe in yourself. And this is because of some loose ends. There's unfinished business with people that you may not have had a great time with at the end. Burn bridges. So, but the shaman here is just this powerful indicator that you're not at that stage where you just need to cut people off energetically. I feel like you've grown a lot empathically as well, and you see people differently. I feel like you have this kind of healing energy to you where maybe other people never fully understood you or got you, but at the same time you're trying so hard to be your own person. I just feel like there's like this healing energy coming from you. And I think that when people are around you, maybe they never fully, this is a very Aquarius Pisces thing, right? There's this kind of mystical vibe, this mystical energy. I'm not sure if you seemed like, I just feel like you're a very unique soul, a very unique individual. And so you have discovered a lot about yourself. I just see you going through so much growth, and I think that this is going to be a really interesting time, right? So let's see what else we have here. Yeah, like that makes total sense. I just feel like you can definitely like open up and I love how we got the horse because this really indicates freedom and being able to really be free of all those things that used to tie you down and the worries that you used to have. Just feel like there's this kind of it could be a spiritual awakening, but it's this feeling of no longer feeling as burdened by all these like heavy things and terrible people. It's almost like you're in such a you're more in this place where you can let other people in because you can tolerate not tolerate, but like you're no longer in survival mode, you know? Yes, free spirit, Rachel. I love that. That's exactly right. I just feel like you guys are in this really like healing, beautiful, free spirited, and you can see that there's so much potential in your life. But to do that, you have to mend these bonds that you broke. And a lot of it is your fault. You have to admit it. Take responsibility. Like when the assassin is right side up, the assassin is just someone who has to do the dirty work. They have to kill someone, right? With and they may not like it, but it's necessary. It's their job, right? But when it's reversed, it's like you have to you have to like realize that you may have cut all these people out or you may have blocked some people that need to be that you know need to revisit that maybe you actually need them right now or they're serving you in some way, and even if they weren't good, I feel like there's stuff you have to work through and learn from them, and it sucks, but I do feel like you're at a place in your life where you can handle it, you know. Yeah, I mean, because you don't wanna let people I'm not telling you to just, like, befriend everyone who's toxic again, but I do feel like there's a lot of lessons that are still it's almost like you've reached a point where you might have to go backwards a little bit because you're in such a space now where you can handle it. You know, I hope that makes sense, but, I'm also saying, like, there's this balance, you know, mind, body, and spirit. I feel like you're working on your health, maybe healing. This could have to do with you getting more exercise or trying to be more active, but also being like mentally active, stimulating your mind and intellectually. I feel like having that is important to you. So this is about venturing into the unknown and really like going for it, but also believing in yourself and your own abilities. Yeah. I'm glad this is resonating. I think this is a really beautiful message, actually. All right. I love how we got Enoki, which is alignment. It's all about feeling like you're aligning with people in your life and feeling like you're finally on your path forward. So I just think I mean, there's not even much more to say about that. I just feel like you're deeply connected to, I don't know if it's spirit or there's just like this, it's almost like you're just on the right path. It's like you're not astray. You're leveling up, you're growing, but also it might feel like you have to pause for a sec. It's interesting. Interesting. I feel like a lot of this might have to do with family. You might feel like there's a lack of love or some sort of detachment when it comes to family right now. It's almost like maybe they don't fully understand who you are or like where you're at right now in life. They're not I don't know if you believe in frequencies, but they might not be at your frequency. And so it can be difficult to fully feel accepted or loved by them. And it doesn't mean that they don't love you because I'm not seeing like you clashing. I feel like they want different things for you. They have this very practical mindset. Um, I don't know if it has to do with career, but I feel like they like believe in being productive and working, and they might not fully understand this kind of connection that you're having right now spiritually. But I feel like you also I'm seeing you balancing different relationships, and there's this kind of found family feeling. Maybe you find friends or people in your life that really are like important and that are kind of like family to you. It's interesting. Mm, this is a really good time to hustle. But also, I feel like you have been leaning a lot into your divine feminine energy. Maybe you've been really focused on self love or focused on your spiritual path to the point where you might be missing out on some opportunities. I don't know if you've turned parties down or said no to a lot of people, and saying no is a good thing. But I also feel like there's a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out, of feeling like you need to just watch and wait and see as opposed to actually like doing this. A lot of the time we get this type of combination cards when you're feeling like you just need to hustle and you can't go to that party because you got stuff to do and you will do it later. You'll come next month, you know? I just feel like you need to kind of find you need it can be isolating. And I think that's really important is that you're this free spirit and not everyone is going to vibe with you, and you're just going to have to find a way to like believe in yourself and your own abilities. I think it has a lot to do with this feeling of burned bridges. So, yeah, I feel like you've gotten to a point where you're ready to spread your healing abilities. I'm glad you feel seen. This feels validating to me because I love this. I love that. This is like a really this is so far, I think this is my favorite reading because it's just such a beautiful, powerful like moment of it's like an awakening, a reconnecting with yourself. Yeah, interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I understand that, and I think a lot of the time it's like a lot of people do this, especially when they get on the spiritual path, is they really put their focus on themselves and really trying to, work on themselves and be by themselves. And I think that's important, right? But you're also human. And it can feel lonely sometimes. Yeah. Right. I can see how that could tie into it for sure. That Libra moon. Yeah. Needing to like, protect that flame, that feeling of like, yeah, that backbone. And there's a very passive energy here, like you're not participating. Yeah. The plume serpent has a lot to do with like getting organized too. I feel like there's like an intellectual quality here. Maybe I don't know if you like to read or you might like to learn like facts. I don't know if you like languages, but there's a sense of like really needing to learn maybe a new skill or a new language and cleaning up your room, like organizing your stuff. I feel like visually it's really important for you because energetically your space is going to be very impacted. Um, but yeah, there's a sense of needing to step outside your comfort zone Yeah. Let's see what the dice, oops, say. I love this. We have, oh, there's a lot of Pisces energy. So I don't know if your fellow, Pisces are out there, but this is a really intense time for Pisces. I just feel like this could represent you, but I'm getting that there might be a Pisces in your life or somebody that is, it could be that person that you burnt a bridge with. This could represent their sun, moon, or rising sign, but I'm also seeing Cancer energy. So there's that. Lots of water, water vibes. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, well, there you have it. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, amazing. I hope that this was helpful. I don't know, Rachel, are you still there? I'm so happy that this was helpful. It means a lot that you've stuck around so long too, because this is a long thing. I don't know if Rachel is still here. I can try to skip to Pisces, but okay. Need to drink. Okay, Pisces, yay. I'm excited about this. Pisces, the river. I love this. Ooh. This could mean multiple things, so I just want to dive deeper. But whenever I get the river, I always like think of like just kind of being carried away by the current. But also, it often has to do with tears and being very emotional, emotions kind of running the show, which is very Pisces-ish, right? Pisces is that watery sign, this feeling of, and then we have the elk. Ooh, this is more like masculine energy as well. So whenever I get the elk, this is a very like protective energy. It also has to do with um it could be like a father figure, or it could be like somebody who feels like they know what's best for you, but they're protective. And I feel like there is somebody maybe who's watching over you or trying to like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be your dad, but I just feel like there is a protective force. And they might not fully be in touch with their emotions. This is really common with like men, right? Like there's a lot of being told that crying is not okay, or feeling like they can't express themselves fully, or feeling embarrassed. I feel like there's some sort of emotional suppression going on here. And this could also represent you as well, but I just feel like your feelings are coming through whether you like it or not, you know? And the elk is such a masculine energy. So it's kind of like this person is trying to like contain them, right? It's like they're holding out jars to you saying, "Here, catch your tears in these." And you're just crying. That's kind of the vibe here, is this feeling of fighting those emotions. And it could represent you feeling like you need to protect your heart, feeling like you need to protect your emotions, and standing up for yourself. But also, ugh, looks like ads are gonna run again. But hopefully you'll be able to catch on to this. So yeah, so with the elk, it's like this protective force, kind of, they have your best interest in heart. Does this make sense? I want to make sure that I am benefiting you as well. Ooh, interesting. So we have the runaway reversed. When the runaway is right side up, it's almost like where you're running away from someone else or a situation. But when it's reversed, did I say that? I don't know. When this card is reversed, it indicates running away from yourself. There is something that you're afraid of yourself. It's almost like it may feel like you don't have a lot of control over your feelings right now. It may feel kind of scary to the point where, I mean, this is a very Pisces thing, right? Where there's such a strong emotional intensity that they can try to escape or try to, go do their own thing in order to self regulate and feel better. I feel like you are running away from the problem and you're not really facing it. There's something like that going on. There's a feeling of being very caught up in your emotions. Interesting. Okay. Let me know if this makes sense to you. I want to make sure that this is coming through properly. But yeah, Pisces might be feeling kind of a lot of intense feelings that they need to push away. Yeah. The elk is really like, it's so interesting. It's like creating a dam, right? In that river of emotions. It's like trying to stop these feelings from flowing, but at the same time needing to embrace them. Ugh. I feel like doing some work on your nervous system is a must. There's a lot of it's much harder for us to control our energy and manage our emotions when we have a very like stimulating nervous system. Yeah. I feel like crying is good though. I mean, I know it's probably not as pleasant, but I feel like you're holding on to a lot of things and until you're able to really face those things, you're not going to be able to, these emotions are just going to like kind of control your life versus you. Yeah. And healing your nervous system, doing things that make you feel calm. This could be meditation, mindfulness. It could be like really learning to manage your stress levels is a big thing because I feel like you're kind of in fight or flight mode. And for you, because you're a Pisces, it could be, and the runaway card, you're in flight mode. It's almost like where you're flying, you're running away, right? So I just feel like it's a response to what's going on. And this can turn into a lot of things to try to calm down and self-regulate. Like you could be a binge eater, right? Or you could be, yeah, or you could be like someone who really, really likes to play video games constantly till you burn out. I just feel like there's a sensitivity to you, you know? I think Rachel is a Pisces. That's what we're reading now. Yeah. Lion's mane. Oof. Yeah. I think that it's also like you're very stimulated. There's this, maybe you've been scrolling social media. Like, I feel like this is something that happens a lot where we start to get very invested in social media and we can't stop. Like, I literally have to delete TikTok from my phone because I just I spend hours on there when I'm trying to de-stress, and then I realize my life has gone by. So, yeah, it's this feeling of self-soothing, and there are healthier ways to do it. I definitely feel like you need an outlet, and it might feel like You want to control your feelings, so you're going to feel that need. And when the divine masculine and the divine feminine are balanced, right? This shows a feeling of being able to really feel your feelings, but with the masculine being more of like a container for your feelings so you can manage them better. And I think that's what you're aiming for here is finding a way to manage these feelings. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like flattered now. But yeah, I think it's really important for you to have some like journaling or something where you're able to really reflect on what's going on, as opposed to just kind of being on a roller coaster ride where it never really stops and you're just trying to figure out what's what. I just feel like you have such a strong need to like process these things in a healthy way instead of just like scrolling or eating. Oh my god, I really want some pie. I really want some pie now. I don't know if you're craving pie, but I want some like not lemon meringue, key lime pie. I fucking love key lime pie. I don't know what it is about that, but now I feel the need to binge because I'm like channeling all this. Woo. Okay. It's funny. Ugh, but this purge is good. You know, I don't know about you, but when I've had a good cry, I feel so much better because I realized I was so in my head and I've been holding on to something, and it just feels like this purge. I feel amazing. Sometimes I'll watch movies that are so sad just to cry, like just so that I can process it. So don't judge yourself for this. I think it's going to be really easy to want to like control it because we're taught we can't show emotions, like especially in the workplace or wherever. But interesting. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of like inner child work. I feel like there's something you used to do. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I feel like my ego is being so like caressed right now. Um, yes. Okay, so I feel like there may be some kind of skill that you were learning as a child or something you were really passionate about. This is something that I could see you actually doing more of this time. Like for example, if you used to love to draw, I feel like this is the time to own that skill, to pick it up again. There's a feeling of innocence that has been lost. And I think that your inner child is really sending you this message, you know, this feeling of needing to be nurtured, needing to be loved. And there's something that you have been, I feel like it may be a hobby or a passion, but I'm getting this is something you need to tap into. And I also feel like you need to be patient with yourself, you know, with temperance. All about finding that sweet spot where you can purge your feelings, but do it without feeling unsafe around other people, you know, because other people don't know how to process your feelings. So, yeah, just know that this is just a time for that, to let it flow, to let it move. But you need to feel safe and you need to like stop being in that fight or flight response. Yeah. Um, this is also like a moment for healing and just like learning to trust yourself. I feel like when you're really emotional like this, it can be difficult to trust your own energy and trust how you're going to act. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing, but it takes time. This isn't something that's going to resolve overnight. And the way you're going to manage it is by regulating your nervous system, trying to calm down, soothe yourself in healthy ways. So that means like you could go to, I don't know, what are some self-love activities? I love getting massages, acupuncture, um, taking a nice walk in nature, whatever it is that makes you feel calm. You need to really do as much of that as possible. And you need to be in a place for it where you feel like you can cry and like it's okay and no one's watching, you know? And I don't know what you do for work. I don't really have time to go into that, but this is the time for you to like you can excuse yourself, take 5, you know? Don't burn yourself out. I just feel like you're pouring yourself into things that are just not benefiting you. It's interesting. This is a really positive card because the Eastern Dragon only appears when this is the time for like prestige and leveling up. I feel like financially, family, as in like family is soothing you. I just feel like this is also a time where you might find yourself moving up, maybe like social status wise or financially. Maybe this is kind of a lucky time for you, you know? And I just feel like you're going to maybe find success in a lot of different areas of your life. It might feel like you're more on top of the world, like you have more charisma. So the more you're able to honor your emotions and stop running away from them, the more you're going to be able to channel this Eastern dragon energy. Okay, that makes sense. I think that, like, the thing is, what I'm seeing in this reading, I'm not seeing a lot of energy when it comes to your family. But if your family is soothing you, okay, okay, so that makes sense. I think that it's more about how that's affecting you, right? Like, I feel like you know, you're going through a lot and maybe you have to put yourself second or you have to put yourself in a situation that is not as like comfortable, but at the same time like you need to be able to take care of yourself, you know. This is the main indicator is like you have to when you're taking care of someone else, you have to kind of put your inner child aside sometimes and be the grown up and be that person that takes care of stuff. And I just feel like this is a message that you need to play, you need to have fun too. You need to be the child. This happens a lot when people are taking care of their parents, right? We're not supposed to take care of our parents. That's just something they tell us like later on in life when we're supposed to be good, you know, like as if they gave birth to us so that we could take care of them later. And I think it's really beautiful that you're doing that. Um, but don't forget about your inner child, is what I'm trying to say. You know, I think it's amazing that you're doing that. And I'm just seeing like there's a skill, something that you might have put down that will help you bring that out of you. Hello. Yeah. But the Eastern Dragon is an amazing card. I mean, this is time for manifestation. Oh my god. You see like I just feel like you're in mama bear mode. You have so much you're taking care of. No wonder. I feel like this is it's difficult, you know, because like what do I feel for him? I'm just focusing on Pisces right now. I'm not gonna I don't have the time to like elaborate right now, but yeah. You're welcome to book a reading with me if you want to elaborate on that further. Sorry. Yeah. I wish I could cover all of this in more depth, but yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, this is just like a message for you to take care of you. Okay. Yeah. I totally understand. I mean, wow. Well, maybe this is insightful for you as well about your son. Like, it could really help you understand where they're at, right? I feel like, if they're Pisces too, this is a really powerful time for them to also try to heal and find a sense of calm and peace and also nurture their inner child. Um, but it's almost like a reflection of them as well. And I think it's really beautiful that we often mirror the people in our lives or the people we love. Um, you know, and I'm autistic personally as well, so I kind of understand this feeling of not being fully in control of your emotions and just feeling like this. It's very difficult on your family members as well. So I empathize with you, and I think that this is going to require patience. It's going to require time, and this is just it's something that needs to be processed. I feel like your son is probably going through a very similar kind of emotional purge as well, which may, you know, you may not want to hear that. I don't know, but yeah. Oh, did you say you think you're autistic? I did. I think there's like a word missing. Yeah. It's hard. I feel like emotions are so heightened. Yeah. I mean, I just learned about it last year, so I totally understand what it's like to, feel like you have no sense of control over your feelings and yeah, and just not knowing, like maybe you appear to the rest of the world like you have it together, but there's a lot of things that you just need to like sometimes you need to shut yourself in a dark room and, you know, just cry and feel and there's a sensory overload and that feeling just really needing to connect. So I feel you. And I think that the more connected you are with your feelings, the more you're processing things, the more things are going to move. And I mean, for autistic people, this need to regulate your nervous system is so crucial. So crucial. It's like you have to start putting yourself first. You're especially if you're taking care of another person. I mean, I can't stand I can't stand taking care of other people um because I just get so overwhelmed, and I just think you're like it's like not commendable. Is that a word? I think it's just wonderful that you're able to do that and I applaud you for it. Um but know that this is also a time of like prosperity and luck. This isn't just going to be like this like downpour of feelings. I feel like there's a lot going on as far as like where you're at in life and leveling up. So, yeah. But it's also helpful to know, like your son, he's probably reconnecting with himself as well. And also kind of going through this need to like self-soothe and um yeah, I think it's really beautiful when you can really help understand another person better. I think astrology is a beautiful way to do that as well. So, yeah. And the elk, it represents a masculine energy. So this could represent your sun as well. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to interpret that, but this is a general reading. So, yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to just see what else we have here. Okay, we have Gemini, we have Leo, and I have Capricorn. Yeah, it's so fascinating how broad the spectrum is, right? I just feel like it's not easy, you know? I don't know your son's situation. I haven't read it, but I think it's beautiful. Leo, welcome back, Kathleen. So I already did Leo for Gemini season in the previous live, so you can check out the timestamp for that. But you're welcome to tune in here and see, what else. I don't know if you have uh, what your moon and sun and rising sign is, and it's hard for me to remember, but I think I recognize you. So hi, welcome, welcome. Like, I love this. I love how we have like a whole rainbow of signs here. Okay. Okay. All right. So I feel like this with the third house and this card, it does make me feel that some of this has to do with education. Um, and it could have to do with like primary education. So I don't know if one of you like this is something like I keep seeing this skill set that you have to learn that you were learning as a child. It has to do with inner child work. So keep that in mind. I also feel like social media is playing a part in this. There's a lot of feeling like you need to know things, discover things, when you also just need to be processing your feelings. A lot of the time, we can start looking things up or work on things and try to like research things and get to know things, but we're actually not processing things when we're doing that. So a lot of it is getting out of your head and into your body and your heart space. Okay. Well, that was Pisces. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful, Rachel. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't talk more about your son, but I really am like I I get so tired so fast on these lives because it's like a lot of energy at once. So I try to keep them short. But you're welcome to book a reading with me if you want to or do more or tune in again. Yeah. Thank you for being here. I love that you're here because then I have an opportunity to like read you in person. I mean, not in person, but live. Okay. What's next? We did Pisces, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Capricorn is next. Unless I have another like cusp sign pop up or something that wants a reading. Capricorn. I still have to do Capricorn and Aquarius. And then if I feel it, I might answer some questions, but I'm not sure yet. I tend to like burn out my vocal cords pretty fast. So I can't afford that right now. Thank you so much, Rachel. Okay. All right. Capricorn. Thanatos. I definitely need to pull some more cards before I read this because it is the death card. Now, as many of you know, when you are reading cards, death is more metaphorical. It's not really about death. It's about, life is cyclical and it's about things ending, but also making way for new beginnings and exciting changes in your cycles. So I don't want you to feel like scared of this card. Let's see what this is. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if you've been going through a phase, Capricorn, like you've been experimenting with life, but it just feels like this is the end of that experiment. It's like you were going through this phase of maybe trying something new, and I just feel like that's what is ending here. You're a very unique soul, okay? And Capricorns naturally have this idea of like what's ahead. They're always focused on moving forward. That's why we think of this ambition, but they're also on a very solo journey. They don't necessarily need people the same way a lot of other signs do. And I just feel like for Capricorn, this is going to be a major time where you're kind of trying different things, but it's almost like it's the end of an era, the end of a phase. I feel like a lot of this happens when someone's trying to rebel. Maybe they're going through a phase where they're trying to be different and go against the grain, but then they realize that they're not actually being authentic. Like we see a lot of people dressed up in these really colorful things, right? Or like dyeing their hair crazy colors, and to try to be, to try to stand out, to try to be weird, right? But maybe they are actually more at home with themselves without all that. Who are you when you strip down all the outside layers? I just feel like you've been trying to do something that other people might not approve of, and you're finally realizing like this is not you. What's interesting is, oh, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Miley Cyrus. I don't follow her very much, but I remember there was a time when everyone was like, "What are you doing?" There was like this moment with the VMAs where she was just weird, right? It just felt very strange. And you were like, "Who are you?" And then later on, she was like, "Yeah, I don't know who that was." I was going through a phase, and that's kind of how it is. I just feel like you're kind of figuring it out, and this is the time when you're entering a new phase in your life, a new era. You know what this reminds me of? Oh my god, I'm on a roll. This reminds me of JoJo Siwa. She's doing this like a revamp of her personality, but it's not working for her, right? And I feel like that's kind of you. You're realizing like you're not that person that you were. It's kind of an end of an era. And you have to, it's almost like a rebrand. That's a really good way to put it. I feel like this is a rebrand for you. Interesting. Ah, okay. I feel like you have maybe not been honest with somebody. I feel like there's something that you know you need to get off your chest, but you haven't. Um, and this is something that is difficult. I feel like it's something that's causing maybe a lack of trust. Maybe there's a lack of trust in your life. Maybe you feel like people aren't being honest with you, so you can't fully be honest. It just feels like there's this barrier of trust, of authenticity. It feels like people aren't being real. It's almost like this wake up, like you're waking up from your reality and you're entering into a new phase and you're figuring out who you are. It's interesting. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, Ankita. I think that's how you say your name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So we're doing Capricorn. I love this because the tarantula appears when you're at a crossroads in your life, when there's something. Oh, yay. Awesome. So we're doing some readings for the zodiac signs. I'm trying to just um, do those first for Gemini season. So right now we're doing Capricorn, but I'm going to be posting timestamps. So yeah, you're welcome to like, what is your sign? Let me know. Okay, tarantula. Yes. So I just feel like you're at this crossroads, and this could be like crossroads of life. A lot of you might, maybe I shouldn't say a lot of you, but some of you might have a near death experience or a moment kind of where your life flashes before your eyes and you have to tap into that. You have to look at what that was about. You have to reflect on things. Oh, awesome. I just finished Pisces. So you might have to go back and watch, but I just did that one. Yeah. What? So, yeah. Awesome. I really appreciate you stopping by. It's nice. Okay, tarantula. Yeah, so I just feel like you're kind of at this crossroads. I also am getting the sense that there's, okay, in folklore, there's this story of demons being at a crossroads. And I don't tend to talk about demons and stuff like that, but you meet a demon at a crossroad and then you make a deal with them. And I just feel like that's kind of a theme here. There's this feeling of deception, of needing to kind of go to the dark side, cross some lines, cross some boundaries, do things that you might not be able to take back in order to transition into the next phase of your life, in order to be the person that you're meant to be. So it's very interesting to me because this all comes down to this crossroads of life and deciding where it's going to go and entering a new phase and maybe having to do things that are a little bit not dangerous, maybe dangerous, maybe on the edge, you know? It's kind of like you might have to cut corners or feel like you have to break the rules in order to get where you want to be and figure out what your path is and who you are. Well, this is a major moment of transformation for you. I love that. We have the dead man's fingers. All this death stuff is freaky, right? There's this feeling of needing to sacrifice a little bit of yourself to make something happen. And maybe that means not being honest. Maybe that means keeping something from somebody. But there's this feeling of darkness here, being on the crossroads, being on the brink, right? And timing is everything. Divine timing is everything. And it's almost like you're trying to defy time itself. It's interesting because, timing is a social construct, right? Like timing doesn't just happen. We made it. We made it up. We decided what a clock is like and what how long minutes are, right? That's man-made. And I just feel like you're defying that. You're defying this kind of man-made concept. It's almost like it doesn't matter anymore. It's so interesting. I feel like timing is everything and aligning that in perfect timing. This is such an interesting spread. And it's difficult for me to do it like as a collective reading because it's so unique, right? It's going to manifest so differently for each person. This death, this could be an ego death. This could be like a spiritual death. This could be a literal funeral you're going to, but I'm seeing you not walking the path of truth and like honesty necessarily. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with that. I feel like there's this it's what the problem I have with light workers, right? Where they're so focused on the light and the love when most of the stuff, the healing happens in the darkness. It happens through shadow work and through feeling like through exploring dark times and feeling uncomfortable dark feelings. It's really nothing just happens if you stay in the light. I feel like this is a really intense period for you where you have to make some really intense decisions and maybe take a less honest path to get to where you want to be. And it's all going to play out in divine timing. I also feel like a lot of this has to do with age. There might be feeling like things are going too fast or too slow, or yeah, I just feel like aging comes into it. I'm seeing age. Interesting. I also feel like there's this desire to explore something that you maybe shied away from before. This could be like a hobby or an experiment, a path that other people might not approve of. This reminds me of one of those movies where the person starts doing something behind everyone's back, like they might join some kind of club and people don't know about it, but it's really helping them. But then they feel like other people wouldn't approve. I'm trying to think of the name. But yeah, this is just a really intense period. Wow. Wow. All these cards are so this is a really good time for shadow work and looking within. And sometimes you just got to be bad. Sometimes you just got to make some trouble in order to grow, in order to heal. You might have been walking a very like straight and narrow path, which is very common. But now you're realizing there's so much more at stake. There's so much more that you have to do. And yeah, you might have to go behind someone's back. You might have to tell someone something to make it happen. You can't just play nice, you know? Take a walk on the dark side. The Chimera. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of people in your life that might be clashing. Perhaps you have had some difficulty with like friends or people in your circle being angry at you or aggressive. I'm seeing some confrontation. This could mean like somebody being more feisty with you than usual. You might feel more irritated at other people, like you just cannot stand it. Um, but the Chimera often happens when there's like tension within a group of people. So that's very interesting. But it also represents a feistiness, a feeling of like you don't want to put up with stuff anymore. You want to just like be angry. And that's okay. I think people hate on anger a lot. Anger is natural, anger is normal. It's a defense mechanism. It happens when we feel like our boundaries and our life is not being accepted and tolerated. It's the ginger? Ah, wait, are you a Capricorn? Varying red beard. I feel like that's a stereotype, but it's probably a lot of it is true. I have my biological mother is a ginger. She's redhead, and I'm also dating a ginger, and I just feel like he is the least feisty person, but my biological mother is a very feisty, eccentric person. So I guess it depends. Hi, Rube. Welcome, welcome. So we're doing Capricorn. Let me know um what your zodiac sign is. I did most of them already, but I would love to see if I've covered yours. Taurus. Me too. Well, I'm a Taurus Gemini cusp, but a lot of Taurus energy. That's awesome. Virgo. Okay. We've got those earthy signs. So Taurus and Virgo. So I did Taurus in the previous live where I did like the live tarot reading for Taurus. So you're welcome to go check that out if you want. If not, you're welcome to stay tuned. Yeah. And also, Virgo, I did at the beginning of this reading, I believe, Rube. So if you did want to see Virgo, you can just start the video over. I think that's the first one I did. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, I just can't fit them all in one video. But I definitely will timestamp this video as well. So if anyone tunes in and they want to see, they're welcome to jump to theirs. All right. Okay. Oh my God, this is such an intense reading. I feel like you're almost like preparing for doomsday. Like you're preparing for things to fall apart, Capricorn. There's this feeling of I just feel like you're that sorcerer in the tower, just like brewing and creating some kind of spell that will like tear everything down, but also you're like the mastermind. You're gonna build it up. This is such a beautiful, but also kind of scary moment where you're taking a lot of risks. You have so much power, so much control, and I feel like you're starting to see things kind of fall apart around you. And this is like you standing in your own. Oh, this reminds me of when Taylor Swift had her, she had her like identity era. This could be like an ego death, feeling like, you have to go through this like dark night of the soul moment, but you're going to realize you have so much going for you. You have all the tools you need to survive. This isn't about trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel. This is about finding your darkness and sitting in it, really experiencing it, knowing that it's not going to last forever. Obviously, there's a balance that needs to be had, but it's time for you to stop trying so hard to be like perfect and ambitious and get your goals. This is time to like take a walk on the wild side, explore your darkness, explore your path. Oh, it's beautiful, but it's also, this reminds me of like, I just feel like this kind of reminds me also of a I know this is weird. Um, a death angel mushroom. Because the thing about it is they look so beautiful. There's this beautiful white, delicate, but they're really, really toxic and really evil. And I mean, they would kill you really quickly. So you can appear to be on this beautiful path, but I do feel like you have like this kind of mischievous side going on. I also feel like a lot of you might be receiving information from the other side. There might be someone trying to contact you. Now, I'm not a medium, but this might be a good time for you to seek a medium out and really explore that. Yeah. Let me see what else the dice have to say. I love this. We have Capricorn, Leo, and Taurus. Interesting. I feel like there's a reputation that you have. Perhaps this is the time where you're really solidifying what people know you as, what people see you as. And Capricorn, Taurus, and Leo, these could all be sun, moon, or rising. These are people in your life or influences in your life. And I also am just seeing you using all your assets, all your resources to really help you. You have so much at your disposal. The thing is, like, everything has an expiration date. Everything does. Um, well, not everything, but most things do. And I think it's really important for you to really explore that and what that means to you. Yeah. Okay, Capricorn. There we have it. Aquarius. It's Aquarius next. Also, for those of you who are tuning in later in this video, just know that I know I'm behind on some of my content. I'm going to be providing that, but I'm just a little behind on it. I've been under the weather, so yeah. It is the age of Aquarius, isn't it? I love that. All right, so remember, this could represent your sun, moon, or rising sign, so it depends on what yours is. But let's see. I'm just gonna drink some more. Okay, this will probably be my last one unless someone comes in who I haven't read, like a cusp sign I haven't read yet. Okay. Oh my God. Taros. I love this. I loved this card so much. It's so powerful. And I really, really feel like this is radiating power. This is radiating like a time of deep trust within your intuition, within your third eye. And it's also just a time for you to really explore and experience more of like the ethereal realm. I feel like it is the age of Aquarius. This is a time of really just like growth and beauty. Okay, I do see that there has been a lot of, it's almost like you're beating yourself up for the little things. Um, you have a very strong desire to achieve something, and I just feel like you keep seeing all the little problems. There's all these little things that you hadn't paid attention to that might be coming up at this time. And the thing is, it's because you're so focused on this tangible realm. I just feel like you're very focused on that. I love how we got the scorpion because, well, this could also indicate Scorpio, right? But I feel like this is a time where there might be some underlying resentment. Maybe you were counting on someone. Maybe you're trying really hard to make something work, but you feel like you can only count on yourself right now. It might feel like there's some resentment bubbling up. Like the scorpion, they let things fester and then they sting, right? And I feel like that's it. You might be in this situation where you have so much energy of just kind of building and building, and you just feel like you want to snap. It might feel like you're a little on edge, okay? But a lot of this has to do with you not focusing on your third eye, on the gifts that you have, your innate power, your innate gifts. I feel like if you're trying to work, this is a lot to do with like career and projects. I feel like you have a lot of pride in what you do. There's something you're very passionate about, and I just feel like this is the time where you're gonna like really be trying to make it happen, but it can feel like the world is working against you. It can feel like maybe your chakras aren't fully aligned, and so it's almost like you're not getting the downloads you need, and it can feel frustrating. That's what I'm getting. This might be a time where there's some tension in your relationships, some tension in the workplace, where you might feel like things aren't going the way you want, and there's just this kind of like underlying anger. I really want to see some more. This is a very interesting reading because there are so many different messages here. Okay, we have, let's go. Ooh, I just feel like you're trying so hard not to change. By that, I mean like you're not adapting, you're not changing, and you're kind of resisting what is because you have a vision. You've been working on something maybe for a long time, and you just feel like the world is kind of working against you. And it's just creating a lot of like pent up emotions. I feel like you're bottling up your emotions. Things are out of alignment for you. But it's also going to be a beautiful time for you to figure out what these are, process these feelings, like express them. And the way you're going to do that is by trying to align that chakra, you know, trying to open up that energy source because you're burning up. I just feel like you're burning up. I'm feeling like your energy is so intense that it's just like burning. It's burning you. It's interesting. There is a lot going here that can be so frustrating. And I feel for you because no one deserves that, you know? Interesting. I feel like Father's Day is a really big deal for you. There's something here. I feel like there's some unfinished business with your father, which is wild. This resentment may have to do with a male figure in your life or somebody who claims to know best. They feel like they know what's best. I don't know if you're in a relationship or in a partnership, but this is like this person is digging their heels in. It's almost like you guys are made for each other because you're both stubborn. You're both clashing. There's a sense of like feeling like you have to be right. You have to know things. You have to see things. It's interesting. I'm just feeling this like explosiveness. Wow. Caladrius. What I see when it comes to this combination Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Sorry, I couldn't see because there's like the emoji over it. That's awesome. That's so sweet. Well, if you are an Aquarius or this resonates with you, I feel like, fatherhood is a big theme for this reading. There's just this feeling of like needing to protect and needing to do what's right, but also like, you know, feeling pent up, feeling some anger. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's a difficult time, especially like, you know, everyone celebrating their dads, but do you find some way to honor your father? Like, do you feel like you have a different way of honoring him during this time? Or, like, do you reminisce? Do you do something you know, in his honor? Was he a redhead too? So, with Caladrius, I feel like this is a really important time for like I don't know if you're in going to school or in the university, but I feel like this is a time for looking at your health and seeing what these emotions are doing to your health. I feel like they're very tied to your well-being. There might be this feeling of needing to take care of other people, or what's best for other people when it comes to their health. It can be frustrating. I don't know. My boyfriend, for example, he never goes to the doctor. I get so annoyed with him because I'm constantly reminding him to like make an appointment because he has back issues and stuff, and he's always complaining about them. And then I'm like, I snap, right? Because and I'm a Taurus, right? So I understand that feeling of like needing to like be grounded and like centered. And I think that when you see someone who's constantly like not fully taking care of themselves, but you're so centered on it, it's annoying. And so that's the kind of energy I'm getting here, is that maybe this father person isn't taking care of themselves, or they aren't, you know, focused on that enough, and that's a message that might be coming through to some of you. I don't know if you are going to some kind of party or celebration, but you have to be careful not to get too carried away as well. Yeah. And I also feel like, I don't know if you're an angry drunk, but there is this feeling of not fully being in control of your feelings. Like maybe you're snapping and they come out at a time that you least expect it. So, all of these pent up emotions, these feelings, you need to let them out, you know? Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Love that. Yeah. Family's important. I got my father I'm really big on cards. I love finding the coolest cards. And I got my father like this gigantic card for Father's Day that I'm sending him. My family's very like far apart and distant. But I always try to do that. And then I just think I can just picture his face smiling when he opens it. And that's what makes me happy too. There's like this feeling of love. Yeah. It's a powerful time. Um, yeah. Good that you have kind of your own little ritual. I think that's so important when we lose a parent or a family member, to have our own little way of honoring them. Um, because, a part of it is about like remembering them and, really celebrating them. It sounds like you had a really beautiful relationship, or like you felt connected, you know? Not everyone has that. So it's really beautiful. You know, I was worried for a sec, but I am not worried anymore. I feel like this is going to be a very beautiful time, because even though we have all this pent up energy and this anger that is coming through, this feeling of like burning, right? I just feel like there's so much hope. There's so much like potential. And I just feel like there is this divine guidance hanging above you with the star and the high priestess. This is a very intuitive time. Trust your instincts, trust them. Those feelings that you're feeling, that resentment, that is a message. I always This card is being stubborn, but it came out. I just feel like you have to keep looking ahead, you have to keep forging through, and you can't trust anyone right now except yourself. And the thing is, no matter how much you want to work on other people, you want to really put in the effort in helping them, if they're not ready to be helped, they're not going to change. All you can do is focus on your growth and really follow your intuition, follow your psychic senses. You might feel this really strong urge to just like go on a retreat or into nature and just do something to really deeply connect with your soul. And I just feel like this is this is going to be eventful. There's going to be things that rub you the wrong way, that get on your nerves, but there's also going to be amazing moments for you to go within. I'm sensing like a lot of nature. I don't know, maybe you need to go hiking. This is very hot out where I am, but I feel also water is a big thing, connecting with water. This could mean going to the beach. This could mean, going to a lake or a swimming pool. But this is also a time of solitude. I don't believe it's going to work in your favor if you spend too much time around other people. However, sometimes so. Psychic downloads, definitely. I feel like the universe is going to send you a lot of signs, a lot of messages this season. It's important, and you have to listen to them. Very beautiful, but it's intense. So I did have that Scorpio energy, but okay, we have Sagittarius, we have Pisces, and we have Virgo. So this could be sun, moon, or rising, and this could represent like that person that you're feeling this anxious or frustrated with. I don't see it lasting long. I feel like this is a temporary thing, and you're getting very caught up in this. I just feel like you're getting very caught up in the situation. You need to try to also meet them halfway, but once again, if you're in this kind of resentment, this feeling of like stress, then it's not going to work out. With Jupiter here, we have a very like expansive, abundant energy. This is really a time, like I said, where the potential is endless. Like things are growing, things are expanding. And I feel like energetically, this could be a very prosperous time for you, but you have to focus on your own path. There is this feeling of needing to overcome some of this darkness. A lot of this could be rooted in past traumas that you've had, that you have had to grow up with. Maybe these are things that have to do with your father, but you have to like work through that. Okay, Aquarius. So This was very enlightening. All right. So, once again, for anyone tuning in, if you are here for your reading, make sure that you go to the timestamp. I will definitely upload them when I am, like, when this uploads and stuff. So you can see what yours is for Gemini season. I think we covered all of them. Yeah. Um, I think I have like room for one more reading. Like I can do a question or something if someone wants, but I don't have a lot of energy left. I've been talking for 3 hours straight, which is a lot. I actually need more water. Yeah. So I can actually do, I don't know. Is there anything in particular you want to focus on that I can read? I can try. But I think I'm going to do one more reading. If not, I can just close out with a reading, a brief reading. Yeah. Okay. This is such a difficult deck to shuffle, but I'm doing my best. Okay, I can do that. I like to, I mean, I'm going to just do like a general kind of reading for the collective then. Okay. The thread. I always like to read the cards together. Okay. I just feel like this is a major time for people to actually learn. I feel like there's something that you're really trying to hold on to, but you can't because you don't know enough. So it's almost like you're really trying to focus on something. Maybe you've been learning or you've been trying to work on your like reading. It just feels like you're studying something and not really there yet. I just feel like you have a long way to go, but you need to remain focused on your path. Now, this could be, it's interesting. I feel like this could be a time for, like, if you're learning a new hobby or focusing on something new, this is telling me you're just not ready to go out and use it yet. It's almost like you're just starting. Interesting. Okay. I just feel like you really need to focus on the silver lining of things. You need to focus on remaining like focused on the light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot going on here that has to do with you feeling out of your depth, but you really needing to stay true to yourself and stay true to your path. When it comes to love, I just feel like you're in this kind of learning curve. There's a sense of needing to learn, needing to grow. But I don't see, I feel like you also need to have this kind of plan of what you're going to do. There's a sense of needing to have a plan, not really knowing what to say. But yeah, I feel like this is also very vague because it's almost like you still haven't even figured out where you're at when it comes to educating yourself, when it comes to learning. Interesting. I almost see you being like a teacher for other people. Yeah. I'm also seeing that there's somebody that might want to be talking to you, like they might, but they might be afraid to. I feel like there's a lack of confidence in them to speak up. I know what love is, right? Or life is a, what is it? Life is a box of chocolates. I feel like that actually is a really good one here because it's almost like you might be trying to really find your focus in life, but you're having such a hard time because there are so many options and so many things that you can choose from and so many things you can do. And also, this is a really powerful time for you to, I feel like you might put your foot in your mouth. There's just this feeling of like lack of communication and not being able to communicate, not being able to speak your truth because you haven't thought it out. It's almost like you're speaking before you're thinking. And I just feel like that's going to be a major part of this is like learning how to talk. For many people, a lot of this is about learning a new language, being able to really connect with people and focus with people. I feel like this is also a time for travel, for wanting to travel, for wanting to be confident. I'm also seeing like new cultures, other cultures coming to play. Yeah. Maybe you have to run across the desert like in Forrest Gump. When it comes to collective readings, when I don't have a focus, I tend to it's very like I get so many messages at once, especially on live, so but yeah, I just feel like this is a really powerful time for like learning a new language, expressing yourself and not feeling like you can talk. Ooh, this also tells me this could have to do with like love languages. Really getting to the core of your relationships and needing to figure out how to communicate your love, how to communicate and make them feel heard. I'm also seeing this could be like you trying to reconciliate. Is that a word? With another person. I feel like there's a sense of needing to say your piece, needing to get it out. There's just this feeling of communication and needing to, but it's almost like, have you learned your lesson before you talk? I I actually made that mistake um, earlier in Gemini season where I wanted I got really upset with a family member and I wanted to talk it through right after we had a disagreement and I hadn't really formulated my thoughts properly, so I felt like I didn't really do a good job. And I think that's kind of the vibe here is there might be a relationship on the rocks or not working out, but I you didn't take the time to learn the lesson yet. There's still more to go. I feel like you still have a lot to learn, more lessons. And as far as wanting to communicate, you really need to gather your thoughts. Maybe you write them down, maybe you come up with some kind of script because confidence is key here. And if you feel insecure about a situation with a person, this is not, you have a lot more to do. I also feel like there was a missed opportunity maybe to speak your truth, a missed opportunity. It's almost like you had the chance to say what you wanted to say, but you couldn't say your piece. And that is difficult because I also feel like for some of you, this may be a time where you have had to put aside, like you have had to really build yourself up and work on things and be your own person. But at the same time, this has a lot to do with, like, you want to showcase this to your person. You want to show them where you're at. You want to show them you're doing well, that you can handle it. But for some reason, you missed your chance or you missed your way of saying, when will uh, I go abroad? I'm not answering any more questions. This is my last reading. Sorry. But you're welcome to book a reading with me, um, zoethepsychic.com. And yeah, you can do that if you're interested. So I'm going to be, this is my last message. Interesting. There may be something that you've been putting on the back burner that you have to learn or study. Like maybe you don't know enough about it. But yeah, I just see that you're in a place where you're finding yourself, you're growing, but for some reason it's like you're not able to express it yet. You're not able to show it yet. And this person in your life, there's a this need to make amends or reconcile that word again. But I just feel like not um you're not able to find your focus on them. And you need to figure out like what is most important. What is it that you want to latch on to? What is your love language? Yeah, so there's just a lot of little messages coming through, but I do see that missed opportunity to say your piece. And as well as with the Herald, I feel like things may seem a lot darker than they are. Um, and you have to be careful what you're investing your time in. Okay, thank you. I am so out of it right now. All right. This is why I need to stop, I think, because I need to take a sec. I need to like honor my energy. But anyway, that was fun. Thank you for tuning in. It's awesome. So, briefly, for those of you who tune into this and have or stay this long, I'm going to be doing a sale for the summer solstice. Sorry, it took me a second. So you can check that out on my website, but I'll post a lot more on that. And yeah, well, you win because I'm smiling. So thank you so much for showing up. Oh, Pisces, the Philippines. Welcome, welcome. Um, wow, that's late. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm actually about to sign off because I've been here for over 3 hours and I'm getting a sore throat. So, but you're a Pisces. You're welcome to go back and watch the Pisces video, the Pisces reading that I did. It was really elaborate. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'm gonna be posting the timestamp once I upload this. So if you want to wait for that, you can. But yeah, hopefully it will be helpful for you. Yeah, I'm happy I got through to that one. So I had a lot of Pisces tune in today. That was intense. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. I really valued you staying here, even though it wasn't your sign necessarily. That means a lot to me, really, because I mean, it's really kind of depressing to do this when no one is watching or commenting, and I think, I really like your energy as well. I also like that you're a redhead. I have a soft spot for them, so thank you so much for being here. Okay, what was I saying? As I was saying, I'm going to be doing a sale on the summer solstice for my readings that are recorded. They're personal readings, but I just send them as opposed to doing them via Zoom. So you're welcome to check those out on my website. Also, um, yeah, you're welcome to book a reading with me if you want to learn more. These were collective readings, they weren't personal. And I will also be doing more live streams. And as for my videos, I'm currently working on a bunch of them. I was under the weather, so I had to take a quick break from making them, but they should be back up. I this week, yeah. Well, it's Saturday, but they should be back up soon. So, yeah, keep an eye out for those. And thank you so much for everyone who has watched and is watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Trying to make sure I say everything that I need to say. Yeah, I'm going to go drink some more tea. Thank you so much.